Prabhu, whenever you like, we're so happy to hear you lead kirtan.
Okay, sure, yeah, I'm going to lead, yes. No, me. You should turn it off. We'll patch her to Okay. Hari Bol. Namo Vishnu Padaya Vishnu Padaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Prasyata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jayadvaita Swami Gaur Bhakta-vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Om Vishnupad Punamansa Pariprajaka Ashtottara Sri Srimad A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai Nama Charja Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopinath Sham Kun Radha Kun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navadvip Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Ki Jai Gangamai Ki Jai Jamanamai Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari
Hari Bol. Thank you so much, Maharaj, and thank you, Mahesh Pandit Prabhu. And welcome to everyone for our Thursday night reading of Caitanya Caritamrta with His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami. It is Thursday, August 10th, 2023, and we are reading in Caitanya Caritamrta Adi Lila, Chapter 6, The Glories of Sri Advaita Acharya. Tonight, starting with text number 94. Looking forward to hearing everyone's comments, questions, and especially looking forward to hearing from you, Maharaj. Thank you for being with us. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Kendra Prabhu. And thank you, Mahesh Pandit Prabhu. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Jalatu Siddhya Kore Kayate Shevan Bhakti Prachariya Shav Tarila Bhuvan. With his body, Advaita Acharya worshipped the Lord by offering Ganges water and tulsi leaves, and by preaching devotional service, he delivered the entire universe. Prithvi Dhoren Je Shesha Shankarshan Kaya Vyuha Kori Koren Krishner Shevan. Shesha Shankarshan, who holds all the planets on his heads, expands himself in different bodies to render service to Lord Krishna. Eshabhoy Hoy Shri Krishner Avatar Nirantar Teki Shabar Bhaktir Achar. These are all incarnations of Lord Krishna, yet we always find that they act as devotees. Shabake Shastre Kahe Bhakta Avatar Pada Upadi Shabar. The scriptures call them incarnations as devotees, Bhaktavatar. The position of being such an incarnation is above all others. Would someone like to read the purport? Okay, but then if you're going to read, you need to be a little closer so that we can hear you. You can read loudly. Okay, let's read a sentence and we'll see whether they hear you.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead appears in different incarnations, but his appearance in the role of a devotee is more beneficial to the conditioned souls than the other incarnations, with all their opulences. Sometimes a conditioned soul is bewildered when he tries to understand the incarnation of Godhead with full opulence. Lord Krishna appeared and performed many uncommon activities, and some materialists misunderstood him. But in his appearances as Lord Chaitanya, he did not show much of his opulences, and therefore fewer conditioned souls were bewildered, misunderstanding the Lord. Many fools considered themselves incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but the result is that after leaving the material body, they enter the species of jackals. Person who cannot understand the real significance of an incarnation must attain such lower species of life as punishment. Conditioned souls who are puffed up by false egoism and who try to become one with the Supreme Lord become Mayavadis.
Om Jnana Timirantasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manopistam Stapitam Jena Putale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Tadhati Shapadantikam Pandeham Shri Guru Shri Jatapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Shagrajatam Shahagana Raghunathan Vitam Stam Sajivam Shadvaitam Shavatutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Shahagana Lolita Sri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kamshana Gourangi Radhe Brindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Ori Priye Vancha Kolpitarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this is the business. First of all, Bhaktavatar. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Sharupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. So here Bhaktavatar is Advaita Prabhu, the incarnation as a devotee. From the purport, it seems that whatever Krishna does, the fools will misunderstand. If he appears as with full opulence, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they'll misunderstand him that way. And if he appears as a devotee, they'll misunderstand him in a different way. But his appearance as a devotee is more beneficial, because as a devotee, the Lord sets an example that we can follow, and that will be good for us. Is something, did the AC kick on or something? All of a sudden it's chilly. I brought, yeah, this is what I need. All right, any comments or questions? Okay. Ekamatra Angshi Krishna Angsha Avatar Angshi Angshe Deki Jeshta Kanishta Achar. Lord Krishna is the source of all incarnations. And all others are his parts or partial incarnations. We find that the whole and part behave as superior and inferior. Could you bring a tissue for me? Yeah. We read the other day, Krishna, Krishna. Or we referred to this the other day, that Ete Chamsa Kalapumsa Krishna Stu Bhagavan Swayam. All the other incarnations are parts or parts of parts, but Krishna's the Supreme Personality of Godhead in full. Jeshta Bhave Angshite Hoy Prabhu Gyan Konishta Bhave Apanate Okta Abhiman. The source of all incarnations has the emotions of a superior when he considers himself the master, and he has the emotions of an inferior when he considers himself a devotee. What's happening? We're getting purport. A fraction of a particular thing is called a part, and that from which the part, from which the fraction is distinguished, is called the whole. Therefore, the fraction or part is included within the whole. The Lord is the whole, and the devotee is the part or fractional part. That is the relationship between the Lord and the devotee. There are also gradations of devotees who are calculated as greater or lesser. When a devotee is great, he is called Prabhu, and when he is lesser, he is called Bhakta, or a devotee. The supreme whole is Krishna, and Baladev and all Vishnu incarnations are conscious of their positions as devotees. This has been previously discussed. Lord Balaram, Lord Shesha, Lakshman, and many others all feel themselves to be servants of Lord Krishna. Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. And even the incarnations, what to speak of great devotees, consider themselves to be servants of Krishna. It's also interesting here that when a devotee is superior, he's called Prabhu, and when he's inferior, he's called Bhakta. That makes us wonder, of course, about Jaya Bhakta Prahlad, Jaya Bhakta Prahlad, a refrain never chanted by Srila Prabhupada, but introduced by we don't know who. And then widely adopted. As far as my speculation goes, the Bhakta Prahlad may have come from a popular film of the same name, and it does have the virtue of fitting the beat that people like to chant in such refrains. But when a devotee is inferior, he's called Bhakta. Any questions or comments? Okay. Krishna Shamata Haite Bharag Bhakta Pad Atma Haite Krishna Bhakta Vai Premaspad. The position of being a devotee is higher than that of equality with Lord Krishna, for the devotees are dearer to Lord Krishna than his own self. Well, I'm thinking maybe we'll go around a little bit. Other volunteers can read a little. I'm supposed to be resting my voice a little. That's I'm next in line after Kendra and the Kendra Prabhu voice resting. So either Amala Puran, you could read again, or would someone else like to read? We'll go around a little bit. Amala volunteering, he's the quickest. Okay. Yes.
The conception of oneness with the Supreme Personality of Godhead is inferior to that of eternal service to the Lord, because Lord Krishna is more affectionate to devotee than to his personal self. In Srimad Bhagavatam 9.4.68, the Lord clearly says, Sadhu Ridyam Madhyam Sadhanam Ridayam Toham Mad Anyate Na Janati Naham Devyo Manam Yapi. The devotees are my heart, and I am the heart of my devotees. My devotees do not know anyone but me. Sincerely, I do not know anyone but my devotees. This is the intimate relationship between the Lord and his devotees.
Yes. The conception of oneness, which is supposed to be in the minds of the Advaitavadis the highest achievement, is inferior to the conception of servitude. To be the servant is higher, and to be the servant of the servant is still higher. Srila Prabhupada quoted Gopi Bharta Padakamaleo, Dasa Dasanu Das, servant of the servant of the servant. Prabhupada said, the more times you add servant, the higher your position. Yes. This verse is very sweet. Sadhavo hridayam mahyam sadhunam hridayam tvaham. I'm in the heart of the sadhus, and the sadhus are in my heart. So they don't know anyone but me, and I don't know anyone but them. So there's a sweet, intimate relationship between the Lord and the devotees, from which the Mayavadis, by their own misfortune, exclude themselves. Any comments or questions here? Okay. Atmohaite Krishna Bhakte Para Korimane Ihate Bahut Shastra Vachana Pramane. Lord Krishna considers his devotees greater than himself. In this connection, the scriptures provide an abundance of evidence. Natata me priyatama atma yonir dashankaraha nacha sankarshano na shrir naivatma chayata bhavan. O Uddhava, neither Brahma nor Shankara nor Sankarshan nor Lakshmi nor even my own self is as dear to me as you. This text is from Srimad Bhagavatam 11:14-15. Krishna samye nahitar madhuryas vadan oktapave kore tar madhurja jorpan. The sweetness of Lord Krishna is not to be tasted by those who consider themselves equal to Krishna. It is to be tasted only through the sentiment of servitude. Yes, Akendra Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. Just going back maybe one verse to where it's being said that, oh yeah, no, he speaks about it in the same way here. The sweetness of Lord Krishna is not to be tasted by those who consider themselves equal. And then Krishna considers his devotees greater than himself. That seems to really illustrate the whole dynamic of any relationship. I'm reminded of, there was a time when Prabhupada was attending a lecture of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, and this is after, I think after he had been initiated, and some elderly gentleman went to whisper something in our Prabhupada's ear, and Prabhupada was caught in an awkward position, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta told him, why don't you get up here and speak instead of me? And this whole, the idea that the impersonalists have of oneness or becoming equal with Krishna, it's like they think of themselves so highly that they would imagine that they were on the same level with Krishna, but that throws out the whole idea of having a relationship with Krishna. Because naturally, if you have a relationship with someone, there's give and take, there's superior and inferior, there's roles there's interchange, there's exchange of rasa. And that whole exchange of rasa is just gone once you have this idea of being, the same as the Krishna.
Yeah, they voluntarily make themselves ineligible for the highest attainment due to their misfortune. They consider themselves equal to Krishna. Krishna considers them lower. The devotees consider themselves lower, and Krishna considers them higher than himself. So the devotees and Krishna enjoy these sweet exchanges, and the impersonalists are they're left out entirely. They have to struggle with neti and impersonal meditation, or if they attain perfection, then they're just in a void or nowhere. Just tangentially, I didn't mention it the other night, but I guess I've passed the threshold, and I will. There's a book published by a scientist, I believe she is, about near-death experiences. And she was aware, of course, of the usual account of a near-death experience as you meet a being of light and you have this wonderful sort of, these wonderful realizations, and then finally you're sent back down, but you've had this touch of kindness in your life. But her experience was the opposite. It was horrific. She had a very negative near-death experience, and she started finding out after some time that there were other such experiences, and apparently there was a biased reporting. The horrific ones were underreported, and she classified them as different types. And one kind of horrific experience was that instead of meeting a being of light and all that, you found yourself in this like cold nowhere. You found yourself in this meaningless sort of endless no place, maybe with some geometric shapes in it or something, but totally cold, totally impersonal. So and it was exceedingly distressing to the people who had that experience to be really nowhere. And that's where the Mayavadis willingly want to go. They want to go to a place where there's no form, no qualities, no this, no that, not even a personal identity. And so they're in a pitiful situation. Yes, more, Kendra?
While you were speaking, I was thinking about relationships in general and how relationships are fulfilling and they move forward in as much as each party genuinely thinks highly of the other. Not that they see the other as a means to their own gratification.
Yes.
Marriages, any kind of relationship. And that seems to be what's being discussed here, that, Krishna doesn't know anything but his devotees. Devotees don't know anything but Krishna. They have that genuine high estimation of the other.
Or lower estimation sometimes, but they have love. Not the friends of Krishna don't have a higher estimation of him. They think he's no better than them, and maybe that they're better than him. Even Nanda Maharaj also, he thinks that he's superior to Krishna, but the love that he had, but that's still they feel that they have to serve. The cowherd boys want to serve Krishna. Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda Maya want to serve Krishna in taking the role of superiors, and the cowherd boys want to serve taking the role of equals, and the servants, they serve taking Krishna as superior. Or lower side of friendship, Arjuna and other friends outside of Vrindavan have a little appreciation that Krishna's superior, even though he's their friend. These are all different tastes unavailable to the Mayavadis. There were some comments, I think. I know there's one above, but since this one is right here. Oh, wait. There are, let me move back and see what I've missed, because I know I missed some. Praveen.
I think we only have those two from Praveen Krishna and
Praveen and
Ananta
Ananta. Nemam virincho napavo nashir apyanga sangshaya yattat prapa vimuktidat prasadam lebire gopi yattat prapa vimuktidat. Neither Lord Brahma nor Lord Shiva, nor even the goddess of fortune, who's always the better half of the Supreme Lord, can obtain from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the deliverer from this material world, such mercy as received by Mother Yashoda. So Krishna has such love for his devotees. Anantashesh says, the cold, lost, scary place reminds me about the movie Gravity, for those who've seen it. I haven't seen it. I missed that one. Praveen, don't the impersonalists feel the bliss of Brahmajyoti after merging? The bliss of Brahmajyoti is said to be many times higher than the heavenly pleasures. Well, it's hard to say that they experience it because they want to eliminate subject-object duality and have absolute oneness. In absolute oneness, there's no one to experience the bliss of Brahman. So they merge with this bliss, or there's some, they merge with the blissful aspect of the Lord, but they're not really able to experience that bliss because they've denied their identities as experiencers. So what they can get is questionable. Hope that's all right. Anything else? Shastrer Shitanta e Bigir Anupa Murtaloka Nahi Jane Kabir Vaibhav. This conclusion of the revealed scriptures is also the realization of experienced devotees. Anubhav. Anubhav means realization. Fools and rascals, however, cannot understand the opulences of devotional emotions. Panchatattva Prabhu, would you like to read the purport?
Yes, Gurudev. Purport. When a person is liberated in the Sarupya form of liberation, having a spiritual form exactly like Vishnu, it is not possible for him to relish the relationship of Krishna's personal associates in their exchanges of mellows. The devotees of Krishna, however, in their loving relationships with Krishna, sometimes forget their own identities. Sometimes they think themselves one with Krishna, and yet relish still greater transcendental mellow in that way. People in general, because of their foolishness only, try to become masters of everything, forgetting the transcendental mellows of servitorship to the Lord. When a person is actually advanced in spiritual understanding, however, he can accept the transcendental servitorship of the Lord without hesitation.
Yes. Even in Vaikuntha or outside Vrindavan, the devotees don't get the same taste of transcendental mellows that is available in relationship with Krishna, especially in Vaikuntha. Those sweet relationships are not available. There is a relationship of servitude, and that does have its own sweetness, but the intimate, loving, spontaneous exchanges with the Lord in different loving feelings is not available in Vaikuntha with Lord Vishnu. Therefore, when Gopkumar went to Vaikuntha, he was frustrated. He saw Lord Vishnu as being his Gopal, and so he wanted to express spontaneous feelings, but the other devotees were disturbed. Hey, you're not supposed to do that. You're breaking all the protocols. So Gopkumar felt that he was in the wrong place, which he was for him. So when he went to Vrindavan, there everything was available. So that's another, why do we say Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam? We read earlier that Krishna is the whole, all the other incarnations are parts. So this is another way to analyze it, that the potential for realizing relationships with Krishna is simply greater than what one could realize in relationship to Vishnu. Vishnu is also Krishna. They're the same personality of Godhead, but because Vishnu is appearing in the opulent feature, that precludes the exchange of these spontaneous relationships like those expressed with Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda Mai, the cowherd boys, the gopis. That simply can't be. There's no space for that in Vaikuntha, no scope. But in Vrindavan, the full range of sweet relationships is available. Servitude is also there. Krishna has his servants, Raktak, Patrak, and so on. But then the friendly relationship, the parental relationship, and the conjugal relationship are also seen in their full manifestation, full form in Vrindavan. Anything else here? Okay.
There's one thing in the chat, or actually there's two more things in the chat. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's just a personal message to me.
Okay.
But Maharaj, if you don't mind, there is a sentence that I had a question about in this purport. He says, when a person is liberated in Sarupya, having a spiritual form like Vishnu, it's not possible for him to relish the relationship of Krishna's personal associates in their exchanges of mellows. When I hear that, it sounds like a real negative advertisement for the life in Vaikuntha, because wouldn't a person want to be able to relish those relationships? And I was thinking of Uddhava, that people mistook him to be Krishna. So in one sense, he had already attained Sarupya even on this planet, but he was very expert in relishing the relationship of Krishna's associates.
Yeah, generally these categories are given for understanding things. And generally that category, Sarupya, applies to achieving a four-armed form like Vishnu, with all of those opulences. So Uddhava also has a form like that of Krishna, so you can say it's Sarupya, but this Sarupya is not that Sarupya. This is not the achievement of a form equal to the opulent personality of Godhead. It's a form indicative of his absorption and love of Krishna in a spontaneous mood. Okay. Thank you for bringing that up. Also at the end, it speaks about accepting the transcendental servitorship of the Lord. I think that's probably, Prabhupada uses this of, when we would probably use to servitorship. The service of Krishna means the service to Krishna. So when a person is actually advanced in spiritual understanding, he can accept transcendental servitorship to the Lord. I think that's the intended meaning. All right. Bhaktabhav Angikari Balaram Lakshman Advaita Nityananda Shesha Sankarshan Krishna Madhurja Rasamrita Koripan Sheshuke Mata Kichu Nahi Janayan. Baldev Lakshman Advaita Charja, Lord Nityananda, Lord Shesha, and Lord Sankarshan taste the nectarian mellows of the transcendental bliss of Lord Krishna by recognizing themselves as being his devotees and servants. They are all mad with that happiness, and they know nothing else. Oh, yes. The same point is being made, that these Bhaktavatars were these forms of the Lord as servants of the Lord, relish these transcendently blissful relationships by taking the form of devotees of the Lord, taking the sentiment of devotees of the Lord, and relishing a higher happiness than they would just as thinking of themselves as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Anyer achuk karja apane Shri Krishna apane madhurjapane Vaila Shatrishna. What to speak of others? Even Lord Krishna himself becomes thirsty to taste his own sweetness. Shah Madhurja Ashadite Koren Jatan Oktapava Binunahe Taha Ashwadan. He tries to taste his own sweetness, but he cannot do so without accepting the emotions of a devotee. Purport: Lord Sri Krishna wanted to relish the transcendental mellow of a devotee, and therefore he accepted the role of a devotee by appearing as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Bhaktabhav Angikari Kaila Avatirno Sri Krishna Chaitanya Rupe Sarva Bhave Purna. Therefore, Lord Krishna accepted the position of a devotee and descended in the form of Lord Chaitanya, who is complete in every respect. Nana Bhakta Bhave Korin Shramadhur Japan Purbe Kari Koriachiye Shidanta Vyakyan. He tastes his own sweetness through the various emotions of a devotee. I have formerly explained this conclusion. Would you like to read again?
Yes, Gurudev.
Oh,
Purport. Oh, sorry. Am I not? Okay. Someone else.
Who wants to read? Anyone who wants to come forward to read.
Okay. Purport. Lord Chaitanya, who
Loud.
loud. Okay. Lord Chaitanya, who is known as Sri Gaurahari, is complete in relishing all the different mellows, namely maturity, servitorship, fraternity, parental affection, and congenial love. By accepting the ecstasy of different grades of devotees, he is complete in relishing all the mellows of these relationships.
This is extraordinary. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu relishes different feelings, not only the conjugal feeling, but all of the feelings here. Madhupati has a question. Let's see. Can it mean the conclusion of the revealed scriptures is the realization of devotees? Can it mean that it's not possible for him to experience higher mellow, Satya Vatsalya Madhurya? Him, that must mean.
This is in reference to those who got Sarupya in Vaikuntha.
Yeah, they can't realize the higher relationships. In Vaikuntha, there's no friendship with the Lord. There's awe and reverence. How could you become Lord Vishnu's, Lord Narayan's friend? That would be outrageous. The relationship is that we're servants, not equals, not friends. The cowherd boys, they can jump on Krishna's back, they can steal his lunch, they can do whatever they want. But you dare not try to pull anything like that with Lord Narayan. It would be totally out of character for Vaikuntha. So Sakya is excluded, and certainly up from there, Vatsalya, Madhurya, these are not seen in Vaikuntha. The Lord is the Lord, and everyone else is absorbed in serving the Lord in transcendental love and devotion. But it's not the spontaneous loving feeling found in Vrindavan, where Krishna has his friends, his not only his parents, but all the gopis and cowherd men of Vrindavan. They also feel that Krishna is like their son. That's found in Vaikuntha. So yes, that is what it means.
Thank you very much.
And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu relishes all these relationships. Avatar Gwanir Bhakta Pabe Odikar Bhakta Pab Hoite Adhik Shuka Nahiyar. All the incarnations are entitled to the emotions of devotees. There's no higher bliss than this.
Purport. All the different incarnations of Lord Vishnu have the right to play the roles of servitors of Lord Krishna by descending as devotees. When an incarnation gives up the understanding of his godhood, and plays the part of a servitor, he enjoys a greater taste of transcendental mellows than when he plays the part of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Such a wonderful appreciation by Kaviraj Goswami, seeing these insights, these wonderful understandings that the Lord himself tastes such pleasure by taking the role of his own servant. Even the Baladev, Shesha, Sankarshan, Lakshman, so on, they feel greater ecstasy in the position of servant and in the position of Lord. And what to speak of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Anything else here? Mula Bhakta Avatar Sri Sankarshan Bhakta Avatar Tahi Advaite Konon. The original Bhakta Avatar is Sankarshan. Sri Advaita is counted among such incarnations.
Maharaj,
Sir,
may I read the purport?
oh please.
Thank you, Maharaj. You are most kind. Purport. Although Sri Advaita Prabhu belongs to the Vishnu category, he displays servitorship to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as one of his associates. When Lord Vishnu appears as a servitor, he is called an incarnation of a devotee of Lord Krishna. Sri Sankarshan, who is an incarnation of Vishnu in the spiritual sky, known as the Greater Vaikuntha, is the chief of the quadruple incarnations and is the original incarnation of a devotee. Lord Mahavishnu, who is lying on the causal ocean, is a manifestation of Sankarshan. He is the original personality of Godhead, who glances over the material and efficient causes of the cosmic manifestation. Advaita Prabhu is accepted as an incarnation of Mahavishnu. All the plenary manifestations of Sankarshan are indirect expansions of Lord Krishna. That consideration also makes Advaita Prabhu an eternal servitor of Gaura Krishna. Therefore, he is accepted as a devotee incarnation.
Yes, this feeling of being a servant of the Lord is indicated here as being, there was a word I had in mind, inherited, like genetic. Since Sankarshan has this characteristic, the plenary portions of Lord Sankarshan also have this characteristic. Since he feels himself to be a servant of the Lord, they also experience that sentiment, that feeling of being servants of the Lord. And in their particular relationship. So the Sheshanag feels himself to be the servant of Lord Vishnu. Lakshman feels himself to be the servant of Lord Ramchandra. And Advaita Prabhu, an eternal servant of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Bhaktavatar. Advaita Charja Goshair Mahima Apar Yahar Hunkare Koilo Chaitan Avatar. The glories of Sri Advaita Charja are boundless, for his sincere vibrations brought about Lord Chaitanya's descent upon this earth. Sankirtan Prachariya Shava Jagat Tarila Advaita Prasade Loka Preme Kana Tarila. By the way, Radhesha, your icon there is silly. I need that.
I don't know how that happened. My phone's been in my pocket while I'm pulling branches. I don't even know how to change it.
Okay.
I didn't click that much. I'm sorry.
Okay, just see the.
I don't know how to change that.
This is just your nature that your nonsense comes out. There's nothing you can do about it.
Krishna.
He liberated the universe by preaching Sankirtan. Thus the people of the world received the treasure of love of Godhead through the mercy of Sri Advaita. Advaita Mahima Anantake Parikahite She Likiye Shuni Mahajana Hoite. Who can describe the unlimited glories of Advaita Charja? I write here as much as I have known from great authorities. Acharya Chodane Mor Koti Namaskar Ite Kichu Aparad Nalobhe Amar. I offer my obeisances 10 million times to the lotus feet of Sri Advaita Charja. Please do not take offense at this. Tomar Mahima Koti Shamudra Agad Tahar Yata Kohi E Bada Aparad. Your glories are as fathomless as millions of oceans and seas. Speaking of its measure is a great offense indeed. Jai Jai Jaya Sri Advaita Charja Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Arja. All glories to Sri Advaita Charja. All glories to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the superior Lord Nityananda. Tri Shloke Kohila Advaita Tattva Nirupan Pancha Tattva Vicharkichu Shuna Bhaktagan. Thus, in 2 verses, I have described the truth concerning Advaita Charja. Now, O devotees, please hear about the 5 truths of the Panchatattva. Shri Rupa Raghunatha Padejar Ash Chaitanya Caritamrta Kohe Krishna Das. Praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy. I, Krishnadas, narrate Sri Chaitanya Caritamrta, following in their footsteps. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to Sri Chaitanya Caritamrta Adi Lila, 6th chapter, describing the glories of Sri Advaita Charya. So thank you very much. We'll end here. And yes, all glories to Advaita Charja and all glories to the assembled devotees. And who's leading Kirtan?
I'll lead if it's all right.
Wonderful.
I was just thinking of that melody that we sing these verses in. Anyway. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Nipad Punaman Supadi Prajakacharya Ashtottara Satashi Srimad A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Raj Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Ramacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Sakaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Sham Kun Radha Kun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Tham Ki Jai Navadip Tham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Ki Jai Gangamai Ki Jai Jaganamai Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Go Premanande.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you, Mahesh Pandit Prabhu.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you, Panchatattva Prabhu. Jai Ganapati.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you.
Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai.
Jai,
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai,
Jayadvaita Maharaj ki jai.
Jai,
Samaveta Bhaktivinoda ki jai.
Jai.
Upanande.
Hari Bol.
Shubh Krishna
Kendra Prabhu ki jai.
Jai.